Um, my name is Noah. I'm the founder of a company called Social Snowball, and we are the all-in-one influencer and affiliate platform for e-commerce brands. So we essentially help brands turn influencer and ambassador relationships into a performance channel. Help them acquire new customers through influencer and affiliate. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So at Social Snowball, we work with just over 2,700 brands right now that are using our platform. So it's pretty cool because with that volume of brands on the platform, I get to see, behind the scenes of a lot of strategies of what's working really well, also what's not working and what's failing miserably, and obviously everything in between. And so with that, seeing all these different strategies, things are always changing, especially with TikTok Shop. Like it's just a very fast moving space. So I wanted to pick two strategies that I could go over in this webinar today of just things that are working right now and things that are top of mind for brands that are doing really well. These are simple strategies. I picked these, not only because they're working right now, but because they're not like a huge lift to implement. So if you don't have like an in-house influencer team or even an agency to work with, these aren't like a massive lift as far as like human hours sitting on a computers to set up. They're relatively simple. Um, so with that, let's get into it. Before I go over the strategies, I wanted to take a second to explain what I mean by modern affiliates, as you saw in the title. Um, the reason I'm saying the word modern affiliates and not just using the word affiliate as more of a blanket statement is because affiliates have changed a lot in the past 10 years. And the word affiliate kind of has a lot of meanings. So I want to kind of focus in and explain what I mean when I say the word affiliate and when I say modern affiliate. So what I mean by this is 10 years ago in the e-commerce world, if you were to say the word affiliate to anyone in our space, they'd be thinking of something very different than, what people might think today when you say the word affiliate. And I call these the legacy affiliates. And under this umbrella, there's publishers, listicles, review sites, bloggers, media buyers. These are all affiliates, right? And these could all be great affiliates. But there's no denying that it's a very different channel than what a lot of people mean when they say affiliate today. And so I call these, affiliates the more modern affiliates. And what I mean by that is influencers, creators, ambassadors, and a brand's customers. Now, the truth is both of these are affiliates, but they're two very different channels. And that's really what I want us to acknowledge today. When I say legacy affiliate, this is kind of what I'm talking about, just to kind of set the stage. If you were to search something like Father's Day gifts, and a bunch of different listicle sites would come up that have like, top 10 gifts for 2025 or whatever, and you were to click on them and it's just kind of like a list of products that all have an affiliate link. This is an affiliate, right? For sure, but it's very different than this, which is also an affiliate, and this is more what we're going to focus on today. And this is what I mean when I say modern affiliate. This is a something we're all very familiar with. It's a social media creator, creating content and posting organically for a brand, with the goal of driving traffic through their affiliate link so they could earn commission. Both are affiliates, two very different channels. And so, today we're going to focus on the latter of these two. So the first strategy I want to go over is turning customers into affiliates. This is a very awesome strategy because I feel like so many brands will try some sort of variation of this and not get a lot of traction, but with just a few tweaks, it could actually be a really powerful channel. And what I mean by, they try some sort of variation of this, there's a lot of brands that have like some sort of refer a friend loyalty program, or maybe they have a link to an affiliate program on their website, but they're not really effectively at scale, converting customers into affiliates, creating an incentive structure that really, excites them to refer at scale and having accurate attribution for it and just like a smooth payout system for it. Those are like the pieces of the puzzle that have traditionally been more difficult to crack. With technology now, it's not that hard. So that's basically what we're gonna go over today. An example of a brand that did this incredibly well is called the Pod Company. um, they are crushing it. They are like this cold plunge health and wellness brand, and they have a really strong customer affiliate program. Their program generates over 150K per month at over 30x ROI. So like super profitable new customer acquisition, much cheaper CPA than Meta, and a pretty solid chunk of their GMV, like decent six figures a month. So before I go over exactly what they do and what the brands that are doing well with this do, I want to go over the common pitfalls to avoid because there's a lot of them, and probably a lot of brands that are listening to this might be thinking that they are doing some variation of this, but kind of like I talked about earlier, there's a lot of things you want to avoid and a lot of friction points that if you smooth them out, then it becomes a lot more effective. So What you don't want to do is just have a link in your footer navigation for an affiliate program. You could expect, we're talking about customers here, so these customers are used to a very smooth and intuitive experience with your brand. So everything from discovering your brand from, let's say, an ad. Maybe they go through, go on your website, navigate. Your website is obviously like perfectly conversion rate optimized, and they go through like a two-click super smooth checkout process. And then, after that very flawless and very well optimized experience that you have put a ton of work and money into, we can't expect that same customer to then navigate back to your website and look for a link in your footer navigation, fill out an off-brand application form that uses confusing terms like cookie duration, and then wait for someone on your team to go in and manually approve them. Obviously, if you're expecting your customers that just went through that flawless experience with your brand to jump through all these hoops just to be an advocate, for your brand, it's unrealistic, and you're not going to have a very high customer to affiliate activation rate. So what you want to do instead is remove all of those steps. And the way that we help brands do that is usually starts with the thank you page and then continues through the post-purchase emails. But it essentially is, whenever a customer places an order on your store, using that order data from Shopify to automatically generate them an affiliate account, automatically generate them an affiliate link and code, and then give that information to them on the thank you page natively as soon as they complete their purchase. So without any sign up form or without any pop-ups or click here to get your code or fill out this information or anything, all their affiliate info is generated. They could start sharing with friends and earning immediately. And it's just as smooth and intuitive as possible. It continues the same level of friction or lack thereof friction for the entire purchase journey. It's bringing that level of intuitiveness through advocacy, and that's what's really important here. So this is an example of like a widget you could add to your order confirmation screen. This is from the pod company just to keep them consistent with the example where the customer makes a purchase and their link is already generated for them. They could start sharing right away. The second pitfall to avoid, and this is one I see a lot, is and everyone's, I'm sure you guys have seen these like give five, get five, give 10, get 10, refer a friend programs. These don't work well for one core reason, and it's really because of the incentive structure. So the important thing to understand is that a loyalty program and a referral program are very different. And with a loyalty program, you're kind of, you're incentivizing customers to make repeat purchases, and you're measuring success of that program with, looking at your LTV and repeat purchase rate. And with the referral program, the goal is customer acquisition, right? Like we want to acquire as many customers as possible. And the problem is with these types of programs is that brands will kind of confuse the two, and they'll use like a give 5%, get 5% incentive, which is really, give 5% off to get 5% off. That get 5% off or get 10% off or whatever it is usually a coupon or store credit or points. And that incentive only holds value to the person that's making the referral if they're planning their next purchase. So not every customer is going to be planning their next purchase, even your customers that are fanatic about your product and want to refer friends. And even if they are planning their next purchase and they make a referral and then get a coupon and they're excited by that coupon because they're planning their next purchase, maybe after they make two or three referrals, they're going to lose the incentive to make a fourth, fifth, and sixth because they already have three coupons sitting in their account. That's good for their next three purchases. And that, we don't want to use an incentive structure here that loses value the more times, someone does what we want them to do, which is make a referral. And when we use these loyalty-based coupon, store credit, or point incentives for referrals, they do lose value the more that someone makes a referral. And why would we not use an incentive structure that, even if someone's made 20 referrals, still has value so that we could really, maximize the referrals per customer? Obviously, if every customer on average is making one referral and we could get that up to three, this changes the entire program we're running. So these give five, get fives really don't work. And it's just super important to remember that a referral program and a loyalty program are two different things, two different goals, two different metrics we use to measure their success. And we should not confuse them because that's what leads to neither of these programs generating, anything significant for a brand. So a better incentive and what does maintain its, what will maintain its value to, someone, the more referrals they make is cash. And of course, you need to make that cash redemption experience easy. And this is, something we help with at Social Snowball. But just in general, cash, is always valuable. Even if someone's made 20 referrals and they've gotten 20 cash payouts, that 21st is just as exciting. And if it's if you're a brand that doesn't have a super high repeat purchase rate, but you still want your customers to refer friends, and then obviously a loyalty incentive is not going to get them to do so because they might not be planning the next purchase, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But cash is, the one incentive that no matter what, in any scenario, whatever your repeat purchase rate is, whatever kind of products you're selling, however many referrals the customers made previously, always holds its value. And so this is really an important part of that process. Um, Additional ways to get more value out of these programs, and I touched on this briefly, but you want to make sure you have follow-up touch points in your attention channel. So particularly with email, you want to make sure that you are, we're just, reminding customers about the program, explaining how it works. You want to make sure that you are, inspiring them by showing them examples of other affiliates that have done really well in the program and maybe show some examples. And you want to just educate them. Like maybe not every customer is going to understand the incentive structure, or how the program works, or how they can track their referrals. So just making it as simple as possible and really explaining to them how it works goes a long way. If they don't understand it, they won't take advantage of it. So that's just another piece of advice. And then this is another strategy that just kind of helps you get more value out of these programs as well, is training your customer service team to plug the referral program at the end of every positive customer interaction. So if you're using a CS tool like Gorgeous or Customer, you could basically just create a macro in there so that after, if a customer writes in and they're like, hey, where's my order? And then the CS team resolves the issue. Before closing out that conversation, they could say, hey, as a reminder, here's the referral code or referral link that we already generated for you, right? Because it was created automatically when they made a purchase. And as a reminder, we'll send you whatever, $10, whatever it is, when your friend makes a purchase. If you get a couple hundred CS tickets a day, that's a couple hundred additional touch points, with your customers where you can remind about the referral program, and that really does make a difference. Okay, the second strategy is one that is becoming more and more important and more relevant as of recent, and this is unifying your direct-to-consumer and TikTok Shop affiliate channels, because TikTok Shop is new, still relatively, right? And it's changing very fast. And because of TikTok Shop growing, it's obviously creating so much opportunity for brands and for creators and just for these affiliate collaborations in general. But it also is creating some headwinds because a lot of technology has not really caught up to what is necessary to like make managing these programs effective. So an example of a brand that did this really well is called Triquetra Health. They have a fully unified D2C and TikTok Shop affiliate program, and I'll talk about what that means more in a second. But by doing that and by combining them, they're now generating, just shy of 350K a month of incremental revenue, and that is at a sub $4 CPA. So as you guys can imagine, a sub $4 CPA is like numbers we haven't seen on Meta in 5+ years for most of us. And acquiring these customers at that CPA at the scale that they're doing is just doing beautiful for their, it does wonders to their blended CPA, across all channels, and it's just really a great profit driver for the business. So just to kind of explain what I mean by unifying these channels. So again, to go over what to not do. So it's very, very common that a creator has a following on multiple channels. And just for the use of simplicity here, let's say Instagram and TikTok. So here's an example of a creator. They have an Instagram and a TikTok. As you can see, I just took screenshots. Now, for this creator to partner with one brand, and creators are often partnered with many brands, right? So you want to make everything as simple as possible. But for them to partner with one brand, if through their Instagram collaborations with you, they need to sign up for a, another one of these like application forms on your website. And then for them to partner with you on TikTok Shop, they have to go through the TikTok Shop platform and have it be two fully separate experiences. If there's a gift sent or a sample sent through either of those platforms, it's totally separate one from the other. Neither of the platforms are talking to each other. If they drive, if they post an Instagram story and drive $5,000 and then post a shoppable video on TikTok Shop and drive $7,000, they have to log into two different platforms to see how much GMV they drove through each channel. Everything is just as fully distributed as possible, not only the user experience, but also the data. And that is just a lot to expect, not only from creators that are, partnered with multiple brands, but for brands to even keep track of that and have two different platforms to manage one relationship with one creator. It's just a lot. So what we've been seeing brands do is unify this experience. And what I mean by unify the experience is to create one sign-up flow that enrolls creators in both channels. So instead of instead of this guy, Jay or John, instead of him having to log into two platforms to, partner with one brand across both channels, they could just sign up through one form. And by signing up to that one form, it'll not only generate an affiliate link for them to, use for Instagram and their stories and link in bio, but it'll also add them to a collaboration on TikTok Shop and let them add products to their showcase through the same flow. Everything works together. They don't have to log into two platforms, and the experience is in one place. Now, at scale, this just makes things way, way easier for creators because, again, they've partnered with a lot of brands, and expecting them to log into two platforms for one partnership with one brand is just a lot to expect. Not only unifying the experience, but unifying the data is also really important. So as a brand, this is a screenshot from Social Snowball just to kind of show you what I mean by this. So being able to see how much revenue a creator drove through Shopify in a line item, through TikTok Shop in a separate line item, and then blended metrics as well is incredibly valuable, not just for the brand, but for the creators, being able to see how much total revenue did they drive for this one brand, how much total earnings did they make through commissions for this one brand across both channels without having to log into two platforms is just saving them a tremendous amount of time and headache. And as any brand who's watching this who's worked with creators before, the way to win is to remove friction and to make things simple. And this is a way to do that. That's been really effective for a lot of brands. So um, those are the two strategies. I wanted to throw in a bonus one real quick, just because we have time, and I think it's just an important one. And this is preventing codes from leaking to coupon sites. So I'm sure a lot of people in here will agree on this that code leaks are just a major headache, especially when they're affiliate codes, because these codes, you're not only giving out a discount to customers who aren't supposed to be getting that discount, right? It's for the affiliates audience, but when it's an affiliates code, you're also, unless you catch it early, you're paying out commissions to an affiliate for sales that they did never referred. And that could be like a huge hit to your margin. And then when you realize that the code leaked, you have to reach out to the affiliate and maybe ask for money back. And that's just a whole nightmare in itself. So being able to prevent these is really important. And so what you want to make sure you're not doing, again, to kind of focus on the pitfalls to avoid here, if you're just creating like a normal static code for every influencer that you work with, and then just giving that to them, and then if you're just like scanning through coupon sites to see if the code leaked, you're being too reactive, and you're catching it after it's too late, and you're really using a band-aid for something that needs surgery. And there is a way to prevent this entirely. And it's basically something called safe links. And for those of you who haven't heard of safe links, it is essentially like a coupon code alternative. So you could think of it like as a coupon code replacement. So wherever affiliates would have historically been sharing a code, they'll share this link instead. So instead of saying, use my code for 10% off, they'll say use my link for 10% off. The link itself just looks like a normal affiliate link. It could be customized, shortened, UTM parameters, whatever you want. But how it works is whenever a shopper clicks on that link and gets taken to the brand's storefront, in real time, a unique single use code will be generated from Shopify and given to the shopper to use during their shopping session. So the shopper still gets the discount. The influencer still has a way to share a discount at scale with their audience through the link. But let's say I'm an influencer and I say use my link for 10% off, and 100 people click on the link. Everyone will have a different single use code generated for them. So if Honey or Retail Me Not or Capital One Shopping or any of these coupon sites were to scrape the code or take it from checkout and put it on one of their sites, it doesn't matter because they're all single use, so they're valueless to these coupon sites. So it basically allows the influencer to still share a discount, the customer to still have, a way to redeem the discount and an incentive to purchase through the influencer's link, but you don't have to worry about Honey or any of these other sites just like ruining the attribution. Just to show you what I mean by it, this is an example of one. So it could literally just be as simple as brand.com slash the name of the influencer. Very simple. And then you can do some cool things. So like when you click on the link, you can personalize the shopping experience of refer traffic with a pop-up. This is something that we love doing. So essentially, you could kind of tailor that shopping experience for the referred traffic and make it on brand with the influencer but with still sending the traffic to your website. So for example, it could say like influencer name sent you discount, and then if you click this redeem coupon button, it could generate a single use coupon in real time from Shopify, display it to the shopper, also auto apply that checkout, and the attribution will be tracked through both the cookie and the code usage. So that is everything I have. I'm gonna hop out of my screen share now, back into the Riverside. I don't know if there's questions we want to do or how we want to take it from here, but those are the strategies. Um, okay, so I guess, yeah, just drop questions in the chat, I think will probably be the easiest way to do this. I'm gonna scroll up because I hadn't seen any of these yet. Okay. Um, yeah, drop some questions, please. All right, I'm just gonna start picking some of these at random. All right, first one I'm seeing, what is the ideal commission? So for baby product and footwear industry. So honestly, the way I like to look at commissions effectively is you really want to kind of benchmark it against your paid ads target CAC. So whatever you're paying on Meta to acquire a customer, use that as a benchmark. But let's say you're paying $40, but if you got it to 30, it would be like, that's kind of your goal and it would be much more profitable. Then I would use a $30, fixed commission per order. And you could set some safeguards in there so that like if an order under a certain AOV threshold goes through, then it won't be eligible for a commission. So that like you can't, if you have like a super low ticket product, then the system can't be beat. But I think a big mistake, honestly, brands make is being too stingy with the commissions. Like, it's the more generous you are with it, the more excited the affiliates will be to promote. And that's like honestly super important. So use use your paid ads CAC target as a benchmark, work from there. You could also do it as a percentage. And actually, I'll share a link here because we have a calculator that we built that's actually really cool. I should have sent this before. I'm going to send this in the chat here. This calculator will basically take into effect a bunch of inputs from your brand. So it looks at your AOV, your LTV, your gross profit margin, your target CAC. It lets you slide on a scale how aggressively you want to optimize for scale or either optimize for profit. And then it lets you tell it what your affiliate discount is that the affiliate can share to their audience, and then it generates basically the most competitive commission structure within those boundaries possible. So it optimizes for profit while still keeping in mind that affiliates want to be incentivized. And if you optimize too far for profit, then you're not going to generate enough revenue. So essentially, like if your program has a 20x ROI, but is only generating 0.5% of your GMV, that's way less meaningful for your business overall than if it's generating, you know, 10% of your GMV at a 3x ROI, even though the ROI is way less. It's a much larger scale of your GMV. So you do want to find that balance between profit optimization and being generous enough so that affiliates get excited. Similar to how you have to bid on, paid ads to reach the right people, you kind of have to bid with affiliates, like they are going to take the higher commission often. So you do want to factor that in when you're making these decisions. Um, All right, next question I'm looking at is how would you effectively go about creating a creator community and the incentives? So I think a huge part of creating a creator community, one is you need to have like a place where you're communicating to them. So it's often like a Discord group or a WAP group or even a WhatsApp group, or a Slack group, Facebook group. Like you just need some place where you can communicate to everyone. Um, and those will be for like your VIPs. You'll usually have like an email communication channel with the long tail of them. So if you have like 10,000 members, maybe the top 500 are in a group like that, and then the rest of them you could communicate through automations over email. With Social Snowball, at least I can't speak for other platforms, but we integrate with Klaviyo. So you could basically trigger messages to affiliates at different points based on things that happen in the program, like they post content or they get a new sale or you send them a payout or they unlock a new tier or they get sent a gift. Like these could all trigger emails in Klaviyo. So you could do decently hands off with the majority, but then the VIPs you definitely want to have in a group. Um, as far as creating a community and the incentive structure, though, it is a lot about creator retention. So one thing that I kind of touched on is creating tiers and gamifying it a bit so that you could basically set it up. And I mean, Social Snowball makes this easy, but probably other platforms would do it too, where after an affiliate hits certain milestones, they unlock new rewards. So, for example, if you hit 10 sales, you get a free gift. If you hit 20 sales, you get a boost in commission. If you hit 30 sales, you get an even cooler gift and an even higher commission. You could build out these structures so that affiliates are always kind of chasing that next tier to unlock. And with those tiers, there could be automated benefits. And you've probably seen campaigns like this on TikTok Shop, right? Like Goalie has a really well-known one that went viral where they're like giving away yachts and stuff or something like that for like the highest tiers. you could make like a more simple version of that and automate most of it. So that's, that's kind of how I would think about retaining them. And beyond that, you just want to make sure communication is frequently, like you want to make sure that or that you're communicating frequently, like through the automated stuff through Klaviyo, but as well as like one-to-one stuff for your VIPs. Okay. Any documentation? Yeah, I mean, here I could send the help doc, but if you have like specific questions, like you can just ping our support team. Uh, but let me get the link for you. I'll just drop it in the chat. We have a ton of trigger events, so basically you could kind of automate a lot of the communication through Klaviyo. Um, all right, recommendation for cookie duration. I think 30 days is pretty standard. It's up to you. You kind of it's a give and take, right? Like the longer the cookie duration, the more likely of double attribution, but then the shorter, like for example, like someone clicks on an affiliate link, but then also sees an ad and then both take credit, right? The affiliate and the ad happens with really any channel. But if you have too short of a cookie duration and like the consideration period for your product is longer, your affiliates might get frustrated that they're not getting sales track that should be rightfully theirs. 30 days is like kind of the standard, but you could kind of adjust based on the consideration period of your product. Um, how do you gamify that in Snowball? It's really easy. Like when you're building out programs, you could basically set criteria for when an affiliate will segment from one program to the next. And when you're setting that criteria, per program, you'll set different rewards. So you could set like a gift or a higher commission. If you have specific questions like that, just message our support team, and we could get on a call with you. Um, all right. For brand, how do you view the trade between using TikTok shops, Snowball, and affiliate links? Or going through flagship, it's just different, right? Like flagship and shop might kind of help creators build their own storefront. It's like a different channel from D2C. I'd almost think of it as Amazon. Like with flagship and these other platforms, the creator isn't driving traffic to your D2C, they're driving traffic to their own storefront, which they have like a bunch of different brands they're partnered with. So it's kind of just different. Like with Social Snowball, it's like an owned affiliate channel that works between your D2C and TikTok shop. Uh, I'm gonna scroll up a little bit because I think I missed some early ones. How do you differentiate between a referral program and affiliate program with current customers? So, I mean, people kind of throw out different words that can mean the same thing, right? There's like affiliate, referral, influencer, ambassador. Referral typically refers to customers in your customer base. So I would say, you'll probably have a base program for customers that could be connected to your post-purchase flow, like I showed in the presentation, and that could just be like simple incentive structured for all your customers. And then for your top performing customers, you could tier them out. So for example, like maybe you make it so that when a customer refers something as easy as 3 sales or 5 sales, they automatically get segmented into a new program. And then you could kind of keep your top performers away from like the rest of the customers that are less active and maybe give them higher incentives. Maybe if they hit that 3 or 5 referral mark, they get a higher commission or they get another gift. And you could set that up as an automation so that when they hit that milestone, it'll happen automatically. Um, okay, I like this one a lot. In a world where TikTok Shop and Instagram shopping channels will grow, how do you see the future of affiliate links? It's a really great question. And the truth is, although nobody knows for sure, I do see the possibility, right, that all social shopping happens native within these platforms. Like that is not too far-fetched, right? TikTok's doing it. I wouldn't be surprised, and YouTube's starting, right? With YouTube shopping, to be fair, it still does the conversion still happens through Shopify, but I wouldn't be that surprised if in like, a few years from now they had like the option for the shopping to happen within the platform. Um, so yeah, there is potentially a world where all of the social shopping and all of the affiliate happens within the platform. I think the big problem we're going to run into now, into in that scenario, is very similar to what I talked about with the unifying TikTok shop and D2C. Imagine if one affiliate to partner with one brand has to now log into 4 different platforms because they're partnering with the brand on, you know, Instagram shops, which let's say it's the same as TikTok shops in this hypothetical scenario. It's happened, with TikTok shop, they have to log in a TikTok shop. With YouTube, they have to log in through YouTube. And then there's 3 different channels with 3 different pieces of data, 3 different gifts that are being sent, 3 different, excuse me, 3 different logins. And the data is fully distributed. Like to me, that's why unifying them is so important. So like the sooner you do that and the sooner you create like one home base platform and login for the creator to have like a holistic view, and for you as the brand to have a holistic view across all channels, it'll be easier to add more channels to that rather than like expecting one creator to log into four different places. Uh, Comfort Clothing's affiliate strategy, yeah, they crush it. They do awesome. I mean, we don't have a case study with them, so I can't really share too much, but I know that they have an awesome program. Um, yeah, so this reverse pyramid influencer marketing. So yes, product seeding is a great way to start a program, like essentially to recruit. If you have influencers that are interested, you could essentially if you're doing outreach or if you're just sourcing, however you're sourcing, seeding them a product with no strings attached is a great way to just get them involved with the brand. And then after they get your product and they like it, that's like a good time to invite them to the affiliate program because you're essentially saying, hey, you already have my product, you've already posted with it. Now, we could actually get you compensated for the revenue that you're driving. And since they're already a fan of the brand and they already have the product for free, it's a lot easier to ask for that than if you were to ask for that before they had the product in hand. They might not be as excited because they don't even know if they like it yet. Um, okay, I'm going to scroll to the bottom now. Tool. So we don't have so for the leaderboard question, creating a leaderboard, we don't have that as a built-in feature to Social Snowball yet. That is in our roadmap, transparently. But we do have the ability for you to just like create a leaderboard and the dashboard with a report, and then maybe send that in a weekly email to your influencers as like here are the top five performers, and you could create different rewards. I have seen some brands do that, which I think is really cool. Is like they'll create that leaderboard, they'll export the report, and then they'll send it maybe on like a monthly basis to the whole program and be like, here are the top five performers so far, and then whoever's in the top five at the end of the month gets like these different prizes, and that's just another way to keep these creators retained and engaged longer. um as far as finding non-customer affiliates, yeah, I mean, there's lots of different platforms. Like, we have something at Social Snowball. There's, plenty of different influencer search and discovery tools out there. I think they're all, relatively similar. Um, I think what's most important, like you'll find influencers that match your keywords or that match your brand. I think the most important thing though with creator sourcing is finding creators that are actually going to be good affiliates. I think this is where people mess up the most because it's not as hard to just find let's say you're a fitness brand to find a fitness creator, right? Like there's plenty of those, but to find one that actually drives revenue and whose audience likes to purchase their recommendations, that's what's harder, candidly. So what to look for there and what I've seen work well is and this almost sounds counterintuitive, but you want to find creators who are already consistently tagging brands and posting affiliate links. Like if you find a fitness creator and you go to their website and they have a bunch of story highlights and one of them is called like links and codes or favorite brands, and if you go to their story and there's active stories and they're tagging products and they're tagging brands and they're linking affiliate links, like if they're doing that actively, those are very often the best influencers, and we call them like high converters because their audience is used to buying products for them. And a lot of these influencers, like their audience follows them so they follow them so they can learn what to buy. Like they want to know which products this influencer likes so that they could buy those products. And there's a lot of fitness influencers that aren't like that, right? Just to use the fitness example again, there's plenty of fitness influencers that post about fitness and maybe get a lot of great engagement, but nobody really cares what products they're using because they never really recommend products and never really talk about that. So I think like my biggest piece of advice there is look for influencers that are already partnering with lots of brands, tagging those brands and posting affiliate links. Like those are usually the best performers. Yeah, I don't I trying to mute Brianna, but candidly I have no idea how. I don't know if Shin can. Um if you're 10 months before your product launch, how would you build your wait list? I mean, I would do kind of the same way. Like I would be looking for influencers that kind of match the criteria we're talking about. And instead of like inviting them to the affiliate program now, I would just maybe get them added to your Discord group, or if you know, are starting an affiliate program, maybe you could already start setting it up and getting them in there and just kind of sending them weekly or monthly content about the product, maybe get the product in their hands early so they could kind of hype it up before it launches. Um, I would definitely start building the community. Like, if you have a community you could launch with, you're already playing at a huge advantage. So the sooner you could start doing that, the better, and just communicate to them that it's not launched. Coordinate a launch date amongst all of them, and then try to create a ton of hype at the same time. Um, all right. Any other questions? These are really great, by the way. Like, these are all great questions. All right. Give another couple seconds, but well, thanks, guys. Like, this was great. You guys actually asked really awesome questions. This was super productive. If there's any questions we didn't cover, obviously, like, you could find me on LinkedIn, find me on Twitter. I love talking about this stuff. I'm always talking about this stuff, so feel free to hit me up. If anyone wants to implement any of these strategies, obviously, Social Snowball is the go-to platform for it. So feel free to, book a demo on our website, or check us out, or install the Shopify app. And yeah, appreciate the time. I think uh, I think we could probably wrap it up. Shin, I don't know if you're still in here. I don't know if anyone can hear you, but yeah. Oh wait, someone says quick question. Let's hear it. Getting part of ad revenue and affiliate. I've seen some brands. I've seen some brands give a very small commission through paid. Like, they'll maybe organic. They'll give like a, let's just say, 20% commission, then everything through paid ads. That if they like repurpose the content into a creative, they'll give like 1% or something. Um, just to, like, keep the influencer excited about creating new content. When will YouTube be available? I don't know exactly, honestly. It'll be this year, but it might be more like Q3, candidly. And when you say YouTube, I don't know necessarily if you're talking about YouTube shopping or if you're talking about YouTube content. Um, oh, for Icebreaker, not sure exactly, honestly. Not sure exactly. Probably around the end of this year, but I can't give you like a super hard date on that. Um, Sweet. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. Like I said, if anyone has questions, find me on LinkedIn or Twitter. And happy to chat. And yeah, thank you for Shin and Nick Sharma and the whole limited supply team for having me. This is great.